Ooh, hey, what's up? How's it going, you guys? I hesitated there for a second because it was just a black screen. I was like, oh, snap, no. You can't see our faces. How's it going, everybody? How you doing? How y'all feeling? Welcome to another episode of What's on Our Screen podcast. I'm Elio Ramos, and I'm accompanied by my cousin, Javier, the man, Rivera.
Yeah, hi. I'm barely alive here today. It's
Uh,
hot, humid. I haven't had food, so
oh,
um,
we
I'm
might,
cranky
yeah,
and
we might be getting a cranky Javi.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, man, you probably should have like munched on something. We already got people. We already got people in the chat. Hi, everybody. Much love y'all. Thank y'all for
What
being
was
here.
everybody's dinner tonight? Today?
Yeah, what was I had the burritos that I did not eat yesterday, and then I had a salad and some shrimp. I probably ate a little bit too much, so that was
So, how's burritos from the last night? From where you bought them?
Taco Bell.
How's that meat hold up overnight?
Nah, it doesn't hold up that great, so I just kind of like closed my eyes and scarfed them down. So
You just prayed.
yeah, I just prayed. I mean, I think I pooped most of it out before jumping onto the podcast. To be honest with
Okay,
you,
we
and
just crossed the line now.
well, I'm just being honest, man. I think most of it's out of my system, anyways. Uh, good thing you're not on video. You can't eat and spill. Yeah, we'll never know. Yeah. So the
Yeah,
other,
Ellie last night threw cheese and whatever else in his face.
yeah,
So
I didn't notice it, but it
you look
apparently
like a kindergarten kid having lunch.
apparently it was really violent because it was all here. I didn't feel it, and then it just fell. And I was like, the hell. Where's all that cheese come from? And it's just I had a big old splash of cheese, and my face was all covered
You,
in
you
cheese over here.
you left an impression on Naomi, so
Yeah, Naomi, she was. Yeah, my bad, y'all. My bad. Let's see. We got Tommy in the chat. What's up, Tommy? How you feeling? How you doing? Mega Anhen was the first one to comment. What's up, dude? How's it going? Yo, I was just playing Minecraft. Oh, hey, you should connect with Golden Games. Golden Games wants to play some Minecraft. So if you're not already, check the Discord. The description should be in the comment section, and or not the comment section, the description section, and yeah, join the Discord if you can. No pressure. No
let
pressure.
me get something to drink. I forgot.
Oh,
So
okay.
keep talking.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. Bro, I might come back. Gonna play a game. Yeah, no worries, Tommy. Go ahead and play your game. We're here. We're here. We're here for y'all. We're here for the entertainment. But yeah, shout out to all of y'all. Much love. I hope y'all are doing well, and I wanna send out my love to all my peeps out there, all my dino boomies out there. We got one of ours is traveling. She's up there, so far away. Sending my love, sending positive love to you. But yeah, so today we got a really fun show. We're gonna be talking about the usual Halo, Moon Knight, but then we're gonna dive deep into the Batman. Javi's got some thoughts. I have some thoughts, and then we're also gonna talk a little bit about
Not gonna be that deep.
eh, well, we might get deep. You never know. We might get some some deepness in there. But we're first gonna start off with a new Thor trailer that just dropped at the beginning of this week, right? It was Monday that it dropped. Thor Love and Thunder dropped this Monday, and it was interesting. It was fun. I think it's just gonna be like a really fun and silly show movie. But a friend of mine made a really good point in the comment section on Facebook. He was talking about like, yeah, the movie is gonna be silly. It's gonna be a little bit funny, but the main villain is what's his name? He's the God Butcher. So he's like
Or the
yeah, yeah. So he's like a very like vile and mean, villain. So it's gonna have some depth to it. And I was like, oh man, that's a really good point. So the trailer that we saw was like the visually happy, stimulating one where it's like, hey, everything's cool, everything's kosher. Look at these characters again. They're back and they're on a new adventure, and oh, Thor's having like a existential crisis kind of thing, and He's kind of self-discovery and all that jazz, and I'm all about that. Like he's a bit lost, as you could tell in at the beginning of Endgame. The character is lost and trying to find himself, and now through his adventures with Guardians of the Galaxy, it seems like he's been able to do that, and now he's off to another adventure to see what the rest of the galaxy has for him. And in that process, he stumbles onto, what's going on with what was his name again? Gore the God
Yeah.
Butcher. Yeah. So stumbles upon that, and then that's kind of where everything takes a turn. So, and that's based on the trailer that we saw. I think Taika Waititi, he's a really great storyteller. I think he's got the chops for this, and I'm glad he came back to do this one. So I think the Thor franchise is in good hands with him. I'd like to see a third one, just so that way he could just say he had a trilogy under his belt. But we'll see how this movie goes and stuff like that. Primo, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. The silliness of Thor and Chris Hemsworth. I mean, he's killing the part, and
Yeah.
then it just was mostly a visual trailer,
Yes.
and so we didn't see Gore the God Butcher or anything like that. But at the end, we got the new Thor. That's Jane Foster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's is that's from the storyline where she has cancer and she gets the hammer because Thor becomes unworthy, and it's a continuation of the Gore the God Butcher storylines by the same writer and stuff.
Oh.
So they're just jamming two storylines in there. So
Oh,
see how it
nice.
works. Yeah. So
Nice.
it's a very good storyline. The when Jane becomes a Thor. So it's a very very touching tale. Um. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what's kind of keeping her alive at the moment, battling
Yes,
the
it's
cancer.
the yeah the when she turns into Thor, it kind of stops the cancer, and she uses her power to help. In the comic book, she would use it to help Asgard, and eventually that's what kills her. She has to sacrifice herself,
Mm.
like to save Asgard, and it's kind of like a human sacrificing herself for for the gods who didn't want her or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's a very touching tale. So
Oh,
I
nice.
really recommend it from Jason Aaron. So
That's really nice. Well, one thing I did notice is that the hammer that she has is the hammer from the main storyline of
yes,
of the Thor, or of the Avengers storyline and everything, not the one where he traveled into the past and
it's
got.
the one that Hela broke.
Yeah, and apparently that one got rebuilt and reconstructed, and now
Yeah.
she's the Thor, which is cool, man. Like I like how they're expanding it and stuff like that. I'm curious how they do that story. I would love it if they told that story, because it seems there was that scene where one god was on the floor, uh and and that creature, what was it, a god or something like that, was like dead on the floor.
Yeah, that Godzilla thing.
Yeah, Godzilla thing. Hey, Elena, how you doing?
Uh, Hi, Elena.
Um, yeah, it was kind of like a 1-to-1. I saw that picture. I love it when
Yeah,
directors do that, when they do like a 1-to-1 comparison to whatever the source material is. I just
yeah.
love things like that, and that was the fans. I saw that everywhere, man. Everybody was just posting that picture. It's like, look, it's a 1-to-1. It's like, oh my god, so awesome. So hopefully they do that with the story. I think that would be fantastic. Oh no, Naomi's like, I'm tired. Well, we'll try to pep you up. We'll try to feed you some energia,
Yeah,
energy.
yeah. You just take a couple cup of coffees and that'll help.
Yeah. Uh,
And some Pepsi or Coca-Cola and stuff like that.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about the Thor, and we'll catch up on those comments and stuff like that. But let us know what you guys think. Um, but transitioning over to let's just get Halo out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. So
This is your hour
yeah,
to smash something.
yeah.
You're like a Fight Club.
So
I want to destroy something pretty.
yeah, what did it destroy something beautiful? This, well, if Halo was something beautiful, then yes, but it's not. It's just a really, really ugly thing that shouldn't exist on this plane of Earth, in our same realm of existence. It should live in like an ultra dimension where it tortures people. And he's like, What are you gonna torture me with today? He's like, Oh, we're gonna put on the first season of Halo. Click. It's like, oh no. That's what that should be. So I've been beating up the show pretty bad, and they've been harping the fact that uh
You like this episode, huh?
no, listen to me,
You
listen,
know,
I'm building up to
there was a
something.
lot of fighting there.
I'm
You
I'm
liked it.
I'm building up to something. I'm building up to something. Um so they stated that they're basing their story off of the books. Well, your boy acquired one of them. He's been listening to one of the books, and I have to say they probably only read the synopsis in the back of the book, of all the books, and be like, yeah, we're basing this off of the book. Because out of all the books, I chose the one that sounded closest to what the series is all about. And let me tell you, the version of Master Chief in this book is 20 times better. This storyline is 20 times better than what the series is. I would have preferred them adopt this book into the series, and it would have been a much better storyline, and it would have had everything that they wanted it, making mankind bad and stuff like that, like the revolution and the revolt and all that stuff. It had all the source material that they really wanted, and it seemed like they just flipped it in the back, read a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's going to be our story, and then we're just going to change everything." So in the book compared to the video games, Master Chief in the video game doesn't have very much emotions. He cares about people. He wants people to be safe, but he's very robotic. He's like a soldier, a robot soldier, like a super soldier kind of thing. But he does show some form of emotion in the game, but not much. In the book, he shows a lot of emotion, to the point that he's human. Like they show all his human characteristics and abilities. It's just he's learned to repress his emotions. But when it comes to his team, like they all know each other. They have like emotions and feelings, and they're sarcastic, and they're just that stuff is established so well in this book. And then the show, they went too far with the rigidness, too far with the lack of emotion, and then they went too far to the other spectrum, making it seem like they needed these emotions to become human. They've always been human. So in that regard, like I kind of I kind of see what they were trying to do, but they failed to execute it. So either way, in trying to adapt the books, they failed miserably. So not only did they fail on adapting the video game, they failed at adapting the book, the source material that they claim that they used. They failed miserably. The show is awful. It's bad on all accounts. So there's nothing that it can stand on. There's nothing. I thought by getting this book and listening to it, I would understand it better, because I wanted to, like, I wanted to, like, people were saying, oh, the books and stuff like that, this relationship with like the humans and the Spartans, it's there in the books. Well, in this book, yeah, the Spartans were designed to take care of like all these insurrection groups and these rebels who want to break away from the UNSC, but it never came to fruition because the Covenant started attacking. Yes, the UNSC was like was attacking other humans and stuff like that to calm them down because they wanted freedom and stuff like that. But the Spartans never got a chance to attack them because of the Covenant. And for this show to be like, oh yeah, the Spartans came through and started wrecking everybody's life, like it's not, that's not true, you know. So I think the show is, it's been really bad. But this episode, I see where the budget went. Like the whole entire budget for the show just went into the last 15 minutes of this last episode, because it was what we as fans deserve to have seen throughout the whole entire series. So like Covenant ships drop and Master Chief starts to fight and all that stuff, and it's great. It's fantastic. But everything leading up to that point, oh, it's straight up garbage. It's so inconsistent with the character that they have established up to this point. He almost fought his superior officer, and then he turns around and is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna listen to you now, because I all that emotion that you saw is just like magically gone. So I'm just gonna do my mission now." It's like, bro, stop. It's just so it's so inconsistent with itself. It just doesn't know what it is. It's a show without an identity, it's only Halo in name. It's a hollow Halo. That's what it is. It's just hollow, 100%. Um, all right, let me read this. Elena says, "Didn't I tell you that the books were better?" Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. The books were way better. That's why I decided to dive into one and just really compare because I wanted to be proven wrong, despite of all the stuff that like I'm attacking these shows. I want them to prove me wrong. I want to sit here and be like, you know what, I was wrong. Yeah, the show is actually doing its due diligence and all that stuff, but the book is so well established. I mean, if they were to adapt it from the books, I just don't see it because it's so well written. It's right there. I mean, it's a frame of work. It's a clear direction of where to go and take the story. But they just like, that's interesting. Nope. Like, then they have nothing to stand on. The books and the show, two different things. Even the earlier ones, the only thing I like about the show is how they gave me a realistic picture of what it would look like in real life. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I appreciate that they brought it to life, but that's about it. I mean, the weapons still look really fake. When Master Chief was holding his gun and started shooting, it looked like he was shooting like a plastic toy and going like this. Like, okay, the Covenant is the only thing that looks really good. Like the CG on those creatures looks fantastic, but everything else is just mediocre. And everybody's performance is just. And the thing is that when Master Chief is in the camera, the show just drops. Like it it takes so much to carry him throughout each scene that he's in because all he does is like walk into the scene with his helmet, takes it off, emotion, puts it on, walks 2 steps, takes it off, emotion. It's like, come on, freaking. It's so bad. It's such poorly written show. And I read a comment that somebody was like, it's so liberating to see how they're taking this liberty approach to the story to tell this how mankind. It's a story about mankind and their emotions and how we all suffer through our demons and our own ways and how we're all suppressed. I'm like, bro, you're talking about your own journal, and that's great. Your diary, keep it to yourself. But it's that the story's not about you. This is a show that's been established for 20 plus years. It's a story that's been established for 20 plus years. You're like, don't give me none of that. So yeah, I've been listening to the book. I plan to finish the book just to make sure that they don't like, oh yeah, this little nugget, we decided to adapt it and make it into this big old story. So I'm just gonna finish off the book and yeah, but the show is just straight doo doo caca, and I can't see how the second season can get any better. If the season finale is them finally getting to the Halo, and then season two is all about him in the Halo, then maybe they can salvage it. But just keep his helmet on. Make it into like a full just mission or something. It's such a bad show. It is. It's a really bad show. So that's Halo right there. Primo, you got any thoughts, concerns, queries?
No, I really don't care about Halo.
Let me see what Aletta has to say. Yeah, the Covenant looks great. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you. Um, it made a lot of my friends mad, and they refused to support the show at all. See, I like your friends. I like your friends. Your friends and I should grab a beer and talk about how awful Halo is. Um, they should have just took what was written in the books, um, did and put it on TV like how hard it is. I agree. It's just again my whole theory is it's they wanted to put their own interpretation into it. They wanted to put themselves into the show, so they decided to adapt it for them, and boom, as opposed to being a catalyst to just like, hey, I'm adapting this show, but it's not for me, it's for the fans, and the show's success would be my success. That's how people would know it was me who did it, because they would praise me. They'd be like, oh my god, he's a brilliant writer because he was able to adapt Halo. But no, they decided to put themselves in there. It's like, I need to put my stamp in there. My message of humankind is bad and all this stuff needs to be there, and just like it's always in like an agenda. This episode, there was this moment where Master Chief in the books, he loves his Spartans to death. Like he lost one of his best friends, and he doesn't want to do that ever again. Never. And so he's like overly protective of his Spartans. So in the show, when one of his Spartans follows his lead, he reprimands her and tells her, "You can't do this, and you're not fit for duty." And then she calls him out. It's like, "Oh well, you did it, and what does that make you?" And he's just like, stays. He shuts up. And then Cortana just gives this lecture about like, "Yeah, you did it. Like I'm proud of her for standing up for herself because she needs to do that more often." I'm like, really? Like that's the message there. Like he's a man and he's a jerk, and she's a woman and she's fierce and she's powerful, so she has to like you're belittling the character just so you can have like a message for everybody. Yeah, okay. It's just destroying the character because his personality wouldn't do that. He would be all about protecting his Spartans, supporting his Spartans, keeping things on a low profile, and just making sure that because he wouldn't want her to be in harm's way either way. But like he would support her, he would be by her side. So I don't know, I just don't appreciate when they just put like we need a message here, so let's make Master Chief like inconsistent and a jerk because in the previous scene he was all about it, and then now he's a jerk to her because she did it, and but he can, and so it's okay. It's just poor, very poor writing, very poor writing. I don't care for it. Um, but yeah, so that is Halo in a nutshell, and I think
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, you really liked it. I felt the love coming out of you on
it's
the show.
it oozes out of me, oozes
Yeah.
out of me, man.
Let
It
me, yeah, changing the subject from you angry. I'm gonna be angry now,
oh,
and I'm angry because I can't watch Paramount Plus here in Puerto Rico
mm,
because of stupidity.
mm-hmm.
But apparently, stupidity is contagious because AMC got the same stupidity now. I've been watching Better Call Saul since season 1 on their app. When you have cable TV, you use the you have the right to use the app and watch on the episodes on demand.
Yeah.
So I've watched the episodes on demand since season 1. So to my surprise, this week when I tried to watch Better Call Saul, it wasn't on the app. So I had to get on the phone. I said, "It's there. Why can't I see it on the TV?" So apparently they geo-locked it away from us, from Puerto Rico,
Ah,
and I can't watch it like normal, like a normal human being. So I had to like use a VPN and try to log in and get to see the episodes. So that's pretty crappy from them.
it's grimy, dude.
Especially, it's very grimy. So yeah, so I had to deal with that the whole week. So anyway, but though I still watched the first 2 episodes, and they're great. So
Yeah,
at least there was a good show after all the process that I had to go in through to watch the show. So
yeah.
so yeah, yeah.
Man, they be treating Puerto Rico like a second rate, like straight up when it comes to
Oh,
all
yeah,
this
it's
content.
almost 100 years of treating us like that, so we're accustomed
Yeah, but
to it.
dadgummit, man, freaking AMC. I don't know, like I don't know why they would isolate the island. There's so much support and love for content over there in the island that they would just be like, you know what? Nah, we're good. We don't need that. It's
Yeah,
just that's shameful, man. That sucks, dude. That's a
yeah,
huge bummer because I know you're a big fan of Better Call Saul. I caught up completely. I binge watched season 5, and it was so good. It was so good to
yeah,
watch that.
yeah. Season 5, 6 is just continues the same great writing and tension and characters. You're always scared about the characters there
Yeah.
and what they're doing and stuff.
Now, do you think?
Not like some other shows that I'm watching, like from Tokyo. So,
Oh no 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 no. Okay okay. All right. Hold on. All right. We'll get to
what
that.
were you gonna
Wait,
what
no
were
no
you gonna
no.
say about Better Call Saul?
No no no. We'll get to that here in a second. But uh, do you think that they're gonna split this season up? Do you think?
They already split. This one, I think, is the first half of the episodes, and July is the other second half.
Oh, okay. All right. So that means is it gonna be longer than the 9 episodes normally?
I haven't checked, but um, I'm just dealing with the feelings that I won't have Better Call Saul. So
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So I constructed that, after watching some other shows where a lot of characters and really nobody cares about those characters, and this show just, reminded me, oh, these are good characters, and
It,
you care about them and what's gonna happen to them and
it,
stuff like that.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Which
fabulous masterclass on writing tension, writing conflict, writing
s-
characters and
s-
arcs and stuff like that, and
yeah. It sounds a lot like Tokyo Vice.
yeah, I don't
It
think so.
sounds a lot like Tokyo Vice.
It's not on the same
It
league.
sounds like you're
It's not
describing
on the
Tokyo
same.
Vice.
No, it's
That show
not.
that show is
That
so
show
good.
is, well, okay. You go ahead and praise it because I'm not
Yo,
gonna.
it's so good. The characters are evolving with each episode. There's a story arc for each character that you're following. You see them change from the beginning to this point now. The season finale is next Thursday, but man, it's a really
HBO
good
is
show.
dumping the show. This HBO is dumping the show because they're throwing 2 episodes a week.
Yeah, well,
This show is they're dumping it.
they've been doing that for a couple shows, to be honest with you. They've been doing that with
Yeah, it's
like
called dumping.
I don't know, man. It's really good. It's really well written, well established, the world and everything like that. There's this last episode or the last episode I watched, the cutscenes were a little bit weird, like the editing was a bit weird, but the story development of each character and how they're going deeper and deeper into their purpose and they're getting lost in their purpose. And it's so gratifying because you see them evolve and turning into these characters, these personas that you could see in season two, that they'll probably be like the top of their game essentially, but in their field, respected fields and stuff like that. And it's so good, man. It's everything is because I don't want to give too much away, but like the Jack, the main character that you see, Tokyo through his lens and
Right,
stuff like that. Jake, right? Jack. They call him Jake, but it's
he's a great character. Yeah, you can't even remember his name.
well, it's Jack, Jake, whatever. But
Yeah, true.
you're following. Like I still don't know most of the characters' names. I mean, Sato.
Yeah.
Sato is like the main Yakuza guy, the young Yakuza guy. He's like with Jake. They're both coming
Isn't
up,
that
and
isn't that the Miyagi friend from Karate Kid 2?
Sato. It could be
Yeah.
that could be like the huge twist at the end of the whole show.
Miyagi's was behind it.
Yeah, but the thing is that like you have Jake and then you have Sato that it's almost like a mirror image of each other and how they're growing in their respective fields. Jake wants into the world of Yakuza so that way he could write about it and get a story, and then Sato is kind of like he's in that world of Yakuza and he's still kind of like thinking, do I belong here? Do I fit in? And as each episode goes, he starts to dive deeper and deeper into the world of the Yakuza, and you see Jake just being more and more ambitious in his story, and his actions are causing more ripples and more devastation around him. So he's just like just chaos. Anything that he touches just turns into poo poo. So I love the development of those two characters, and then you have one of the girls from this nightclub and how she's manipulating Sato and to get what she wants because she wants protection. She doesn't want to pay the Yakuza because she wants to open up her own store or her own like club and stuff like that. And then we have these two detectives that one is a crooked and one is good. And how that those two dynamics grow and stuff like that. And then we have a story of a Korean news reporter. She's from Korea, but like speaks Japanese and stuff like that. But it's her life and how she deals with it, and all the things that happen at home, and how she's treated because she's Korean. It's just it's such a homey. It's like I compare it to Breaking Bad only in the sense that the show can be a
Whoa, whoa,
the show
whoa,
can be adopted.
whoa,
The show could be adopted
whoa,
for like
whoa,
any language.
whoa.
Any language can adopt this show and plug it in. Like the story could be instead of like two Americans getting to know each other and their struggles together. It could be like two Russians, or it could be two Mexicans. That go to Japan and stuff like that. It doesn't matter. Like you could just plug and play these characters, just like Breaking Bad. How they adopted that show in multiple languages across the world, and they just adopted the two characters. Just put two different characters there. So I like the development. It's so well done, and the pacing is excellent too. It's a nice slow burn, and each episode is meaty and rich with information, and it's really well written. I think, and the character development is all there. It's one of those shows you have to be paying attention to. You know, I think maybe you have to be in the mood for it because you do have to read Japanese and stuff like that. But I just I love it, man. I also love the culture too. Like I'm a big fan of like the whole Japanese culture, and I think this does justice to it. But it's a real human story, and it's very character driven, and I love it. But you go ahead. Apparently you're just not in the mood to watch good content right now. I don't know, but go ahead.
Yeah, our definitions of good content are different.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
Obviously,
anyway, it's not a horrible show, but it's not a great show. So it's a meandering, average show type of show.
that's just
There's,
that's it.
yeah, it's just it looks good, and it's like if you have like 20 hours to kill, maybe you can watch the show and you go to sleep peacefully, but it's not that good. I think the only part you really like is that it's in Tokyo, but none of the characters is that deep or that original. Or for me, it's
Really.
that if you I played Persona 5,
Mm-hmm.
and all those storylines are in that game, all of them. So I kind of know all the resolutions to this stuff and all what's happening. Because I played the game and bunch of storylines are from there, and you're like, "Oh, really?" So it's more of the same for me. If you watch any Japanese movie, it's just that there's no main mystery here or central conflict. It's just a bunch of characters interacting with each other and cross-lining. But you
There
know,
there is a main
there's
conflict
just
though. Like
well,
the whole thing is about Jake wanting a story and his ambitions of wanting a
yeah, he
story, and
has
that
no morals. He has no morals. He's getting money from the Yakuza. He's getting info from the cops. So he has
he's
no
not
morals.
he's
Like,
not getting money from the Yakuzas.
well, he spent a night with the Yakuza. He paid it for everything, even
Well,
a
that's different.
woman of the night. So
That's different
he
because
has no ethics.
he had no idea that like that guy was gonna pay for
Yeah.
everything, or that chick was a hooker. Like
Oh,
he
sure.
had no idea. He thought it was
No,
just like a regular
yeah.
girl until like he came outside and patted her on the head and gave her money, and he's like, oh dang, all right,
You
so
have to be super naive, like, to believe that, Ellie.
no, but that's how it was written and established there. Like the visuals show that, like his
Yeah, I
reaction
know,
to it.
but if you're gonna go out with this a guy from the Yakuza and he's paying for drinks, he's taking you to a VIP park. It's just ringing bells that okay, let me go. This is not ethical for me to be here. But
He's
anyway,
but they
and
established
he's
that
a horrible dancer too. Like
he
you shouldn't show him dancing.
well, the thing is that they established that in the first episode, like his intrigue and interest into the whole world of Yakuza. So of course, like he walked up to him, like he introduced himself to him. Like you see his hunger to want to be associated with this world, and so just so he can have an in, so that way he could start writing about them. It's not because he wants to be a part of it. He just wants to have the knowledge so that way he can write about it. They established that really well in the first episode. And so when they went out together, of course, he's like, "I'm gonna hang out with a yakuza. I might." And he even said it right there. No business tonight. So he was still planning to like ask him a bunch of questions and stuff like that. And so when he went to the dance floor and he's about to dance with like all these different people, and he catches the eye of this girl, he has no idea that it's a hooker. It's no clue. But apparently they already had their eyes on him, so he was innocent to the whole thing. So I don't.
You make a lot of excuses for
I'm not
this
making
shit.
excuses. That's just how it was. It's just like all this stuff is
Anyway, it's
established.
my
I
part
just
of the review. It's my part of the review. It's a bad show. Don't waste your time on it.
it's really good.
It ends apparently. The suffering ends next week. So yeah, that's my. I give it a meandering 6.
The show
It is a boring show,
it,
man.
it is really well written. It's It's intriguing. It leaves me wanting more every at the end of every episode. It's well established, well developed. It's character driven. So I recommend it. I totally recommend
Or
it.
the same.
It's like
So
it's like 7.7 to an 8 around there for me. So we'll see how this season finale goes.
not
But
far from my 6, huh?
I mean, it's a 7.7. I think it's a 7.7,
Yeah,
7, 8, 8 around there. I'm not gonna give it
yeah,
like a
you're
10. Like
talking.
nothing. There's nothing out there that deserves a 10. Everything could be improved upon. I'm not gonna give anything like a 10 or something like that. So, um,
So
but all
we're
right.
basically saying the same thing, but Ellie's more in love with Japan, so he kind of. If Halo was in Japan, he would have given it an 8 too. Like,
It's
so
really, Tokyo Vice. Just it's really well written. But
just go, people go play Persona 5, and you get a better experience than watching Tokyo Vice. So,
I will say this though. I will say this that um the Sato storyline definitely reminds me of the video game Yakuza. So,
oh yeah, that game has a better story than this too. Like, with
well,
all the goofiness of dancing and doing karaoke and all this stuff. So go play Yakuza. Any one of them is way better than this series.
I disagree, but there's moments in there that it's yeah, that there's some similarities. I'm like, dang, that's like straight out of the
Right now,
Yakuza
the
game.
show sucks.
The show is great.
Naomi,
Tell-
don't waste your time.
it's like tell us how you really feel, Howie. Don't tempt him. He will. So moving on from a great show to another great show, Moon Knight. So this past episode, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't caught up, there's going to be some spoilers, and I apologize. But this episode, we continue into the temple that they've been looking for this whole entire time leading up to this moment of looking for this deity, this goddess that's been trapped there this whole entire time. Come to find out that the bad guys activated some mummies, some security guard mummies, and they just been going rampant, killing everybody in there. So, uh, Steven and his wife, or Mark's wife, they go into the temple and they find all the dead bodies and they investigate and they discover that it's like where they discover that it's like a maze. So they have to like find the 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 center of the maze, if you will. So they end up doing that, and come to find out, it's like the great Alexander's tomb, and inside the tomb was the secret item that they've been searching for this whole entire time since the beginning of the first episode of the show. And then he gets shot. Steven gets shot, or Mark gets shot, and he falls into this. He basically dies, from what we understand. But then it cuts to this other world where a couple episodes before in the podcast, Javi had mentioned that that this could be kind of like all in his head, and it cuts to that kind of world. Like he's like in this mental institution, and he's drugged up and everything like that, and he's trying to figure out where he's at, what he's doing, and he's having a meeting with the bad guy, but the bad guy is a doctor, and he's a psychologist, and he's trying to fix his mind because it's broken. And then you see all these different elements from all the other episodes coming forth. Like there's a picture of the European town that we saw him in the first episode. There's a little pyramid there on his desk. You see his sandals. You see the cane. So you see a lot of references to the character and all the things that they've established throughout the series up to this point in this altered reality. And I think out of the whole entire episode, this is probably the best scene. Like the last 12 minutes of the episode was the most exciting part of it, because you got to see this other world, and you got to see what I think is actually his mind at play and how things are functioning in his mind currently. Um, and it felt like the comic book was it was jumping out of the pages, coming to life. It felt like a very comic book moment, all the way up to the final reveal where the deity appears to them, and it has such a sweet voice, and she's like, "Hi," and that's where like the show cuts, the episode cuts. But I really enjoyed those last 12 minutes of the episode. Primo, I don't know how you feel about it, but to me that was like the part that really jumped out at me, and I was just like, "Yo, this everything else kind of like it was okay, but this was awesome." Your thoughts, Primo?
Yeah, yeah. This was those last 12 minutes was like based on Jeff Lemire's run where he's in a mental institute,
Mm,
and so yeah, it's basing on that, but it has a strange ending at the end. But the show was kind of like an info dump too,
mm-hmm.
like last week. We get to I don't know where this show with the action scenes are just really, really bad. I don't
Yes.
think they have the budget or anything, so,
Yeah.
I mean, there was some interesting like, the tomb was interesting that I was amazed in form of the eye of Ra and, all this stuff, but it's still, like, throwing breadcrumbs, like, of
Mm-hmm.
info, like, so come on, just say it, and, but yeah, it was decent, it was like, a 7.5 for me. It was I don't know, I had to watch the whole series again when all the episodes and see how it just flows one to the other one.
Yeah.
But week to week, it kinda like you kinda disconnect from the show and
Mm-hmm.
you tend to linger on and see the faults in the show and stuff like that, so I don't know, maybe that's why I'm a little down on these middle episodes, but yeah, it's still a fun character and seeing how they're doing all these twists and stuff with the mental thing, so but yeah, it's a very original concept. I don't think any other movie or show has done a superhero with mental problems besides Batman, obviously, but you know,
Yeah. Um, I I agree with your point. That's a really strong point about like the action scenes have felt pretty mediocre. Even for there was a fight scene here where this girl is fighting off this creature that's been killing everybody, and she
yeah,
just so happens to kill it. This creature has been like
he threw,
people have been shooting
threw
at it with
he threw him over the abyss.
yeah, but the thing is that before that, like the thing captured her and took her into the
Yeah,
darkness, and
yeah,
we don't get to see what she did for her to escape.
yeah.
While other people with actual guns and actual training couldn't kill this thing, but her, she in the darkness, like with her eyes closed, essentially, and it's just like she managed to escape
Well,
to
you
break
just
its
don't know.
arm.
Women have special powers and stuff like
I
that. You
I
just
guess she must have done something, but it's super. It's like totally unbelievable. And then when the creature just lands on top of her, it has a mask on, so it can't bite her. But as soon as she removes its mask, I would think that thing would just go to bite her. But it's like no, it's like oh, I'm just gonna hold on to you while you hold on to my broken arm. What are we gonna do now? Oh, wait, I'm gonna give you time to take off that flare and stab me in the eye with it. It's just I don't know. I feel like there should be some more believable moments where the thing went to bite her, she leaned and then she rolled with it or something where I don't know, it's just completely unbelievable. It just wasn't like it for me it wasn't too organic, and so I didn't like it too much, but there was a hint that there is a third person. There's a
yeah.
third person in his mind, but they've been hinting at it since the beginning of the show. Even the credits. There's three of them. There's three different. Uh,
Yeah.
you know.
Apparently, he's gonna get another version of the suit too. He has apparently Khonshu is using the three of them. So
Well, that's that. I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully this next episode is, we get things going
yeah,
because
only two left.
yeah.
Uh,
So like the
I
second.
think credits only had to episode four. So now everybody's caught up with the critics and all that stuff. So
Okay.
let's see.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the ending. So now we should be in Act 3 now. So I'd say the second act is always hard to write with anything. It's just I think they stumbled through the second act. They completely stumbled through it. It was
Well, Marvel tends to stumble between everything.
yeah. So the second act was really weak. I think it was a strong first act. The first two episodes were just masterclass of writing. And normally the first act is really strong. It's it the second act it was just woof. It was really bad. Hopefully this third act should should be easier because it's the conclusion. You already just fumbled all that stuff. All right, let's just put our A game back on and let's just finish strong because I don't know, it's rocky. The game the show's really I think it's teetering for me. Like this next episode that follows, it's going to be the determining factor whether I'm like, yeah, this is great or like, ooh, so close. It's better than everything else, but yeah. So,
Barely.
yeah, barely, yeah. Um so we'll see. We'll see how Marvel's Batman does. But speaking of
Marvel's
Batman,
Batman.
yeah, isn't that Marvel's Batman? Dark Knight, Moon Knight, isn't that Marvel's Batman?
Yeah, kind of,
No, see there, see, I can
but
no,
not really.
well, maybe, maybe, I think so.
Okay,
I don't know.
Go ahead, talk about Batman. You
All
really
right,
want to talk
let's
about?
transition into the Dark Knight. Oh man, the Dark Knight. There he is. Oh, I should have.
I didn't even see
This
the fish.
this is hard. This is hard. Wow. Yep, there it is. My brain. I had to do something with my brain because it's a mirror image, but the Dark Knight. I should have worn the mask. That would have been great and talk like really
I,
deep.
I don't think so.
That would have been like, "Hey, Javi, welcome to the podcast."
At least in this Batman, he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I was gonna
It's
say
been 10 years. It's been 10 years of mockery. Like
10 years of mockery, just like, oh man. Oh, man. But yeah, so
title this episode 10 years of mockery.
yeah, that's what it should have been. Yeah, 10 years of mockery. So the Batman. I want to say all the good things about it. Visually stunning movie. I like the costumes and things like that. They were really Batman's costume was great. I think the performances were good. I like the texture and the visuals of the world of Gotham. I think they did a really good job of showcasing that, all its intricacies and stuff. I like the little monologue that they did. It kind of reminded me of Rorschach from Watchmen, but it felt like I was jumping into a comic book. I appreciated that they established certain things. Like for me, it was the year two journal that he was writing. I really loved that. To me, that was probably one of my favorite things in there because it shows that he's monologuing in his head, like he's trying to analyze what he's doing, how he's doing things, and to be better, But it's really toxic, and I really like that. I like that he's this toxic individual to himself, like he's going about it the wrong way, but this is the only way that he knows how, and I like that. I like that they established that really early in the film. I like his gadgets. They're modern, but not too modern. There's a lot of advanced things, but yet it was a little bit archaic. And like for example, he had contact lenses that had that were cameras, and I love that because it's like showing us like this is set borderline in reality. Like yes, he has this technology, but there's a downside. It's like it can only get one color spectrum, so that way you could see it in the dark or in the day, and it's this weird, dirty, uh, you know, color that's coming out of it in camera footage. I meant, and it's like really, really bad. But he's able to record everything that happens, and he downloads it and analyzes it, and it's primitive, but it's advanced, and I love that. Even his flying suit, that was really primitive, but it was set kind of
That was the dumbest scene I've seen in Batman.
that was the
Oh,
that was the what?
that was the dumbest scene I'd ever
Oh.
seen.
Yeah, it was pretty silly. Like obviously he's never done it before. That's why you see him going like,
Excuse me. If you tie a flying suit to your body, you have to have tried it to make sure it works.
I don't.
Because you're not gonna jump from a building like, I have never tested this. Let's see if it works now. No.
All right. I think it's you can make an argument that he's tested it, but I don't think he's ever utilized it in the heat of the moment. But
And
that's
he sees a what was it? A van and a bridge. Bridge is coming up.
Yeah,
So in that moment, he decides to open his parachute, knowing that it's gonna get caught on that bridge.
yeah.
And he's gonna slam. So the kid is not very bright.
No,
Let's start. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No,
yeah.
he's not very bright.
I I agree. And so now we descend to what's bad with the movie. Throughout the whole entire time I felt like the movie was just missing something. I personally think that the movie was a bit hollow. Yeah, visually it was the Batman, and he spoke like the Batman, and there was action moments like the Batman, but it just didn't feel like the Batman. He was and he they could get away with it a little bit because it's year 2, but there's certain elements of his swagger that were missing. And I think this approach just made him it made me feel like he's just kind of like a spoiled brat, just walking around in a costume, and this is how he's dealing with his emotions. And somebody just needs to like beat him straight a little bit. Um but I couldn't really put my finger on it. It just didn't feel like Batman. It just felt like something weird. It wasn't quite him. There were scenes in there, just like how Javi said, that just didn't make much sense for the character to do. I felt like he was like when he went into the nightclub. I everybody kind of knows of him. Like there's whispers of him and stuff like that, and people know who Batman is. But when he goes into the nightclub, I was just like, they're trying to mimic the Dark Knight. Like he does a scene like this, and it was just trying to. It felt like they were trying to copy and paste like epic moments of other Batman movies and stuff like that, and trying to drop it in here. But that scene just didn't feel. It didn't feel justified. It didn't feel like Batman. I felt like Batman wouldn't go in there, walking in there and just, "What's up, y'all? I'm the Batman. Everybody talks about me. I know. I'm cool." And then just starts fighting with people. I feel like he would have just tried to sneak in there from like the top, and then fight the goons that are there with Penguin, because, he's a rookie and he didn't see that there's more than one guy with Penguin. There's like two more or three more behind him or something like that. That it's like, oh crap, I won't make this mistake again, kind of thing. So that I would understand that, but they just make this big elaborate scene, and the Penguin comes up to him just like real casual, just like, yeah, like, "Ooh, look at you, Mr. Scary, yeah, I'm Oz," tries to shake his hand, and I just I don't know, it didn't really feel like the Batman. I felt like and they're trying to write it off just by saying, "Oh, it's his second year, so he's gonna do all these mistakes," but did he really do anything? Did he really solve anything? I felt like he was like at the end of the movie, he's looking at the Riddler like, "Yeah, I caught you." It's like, bro, no. You just solved all his riddles and did everything for him. And it's just I thought the Riddler character was great. And I love the story on how the Riddler identified with the Batman, and how by Batman being who he is, he created a new wave of villains that has infected the city. So his intentions turned into this negativity for the city, and now he's created this perpetual cycle of like good and evil in the city, and he has to just now fix the wrongs that he's committed because he created all these villains. And I love that. I think that that's fantastic on how they did that. But the way they went about it, Homeboy was always a step behind and always trying to play catch up. And it was fun for a little bit, but it just got to the point where like you lost. Like Batman did nothing. He lost in this movie. Like there was no victory here. The only thing that he lost, or the only thing that he gained, was maybe the respect of Gotham, because he saved that one lady and put her on the helicopter, and she's like, "Oh my god, don't leave me," and he's like,
That's all he gave.
yeah, that was it. That was it. Everything else, he just, because he really didn't do anything. But Primo, I'm curious from like a comic book perspective. I really want you to jump on this, because I feel like you had some really good insight when we talked about it in
I
brief.
think we're basically the same thing.
Yeah,
visually, it's a if you get it's not a bad movie. Like you're gonna say, oh, but it's not a good Batman movie.
Mm.
Uh, So, so technically, everything is just beautifully shot, beautiful. The colors, the dark, the contrast, the costuming, the makeup for Penguin. Is Colin Farrell the Penguin?
Yes.
You don't even recognize him. It's
No,
like,
he lost himself.
yeah, and technically, everything's very good, but sh- this this movie could have cut 40 minutes out and it would have benefit even an hour. They could have benefit this movie. Um, it's yeah, the script wasn't good. They kind of stole the story from Batman within from the Telltale series of games.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, the story of the his parents were like involved in the mob and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's from there, and oh man, this is one of the stupidest Batman I've ever seen in in camera. It's like it's worse than because the campiness of the Val Kilmer and the George Clooney movies, you kind of go, okay, it's campy and it's bad, but this one is like the tone is so serious, and you have one of the stupidest humans being there. Like it's like you just said the scene from even the opening scene. He's Batman. He's trained for whatever all his teenage years he's been training, and he's supposed to be this ninja that nobody knows in the city. He's a mythos, and he just walks into the camera and just in the middle of everything. Everybody just click, 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 shooting pictures of him. And the first scene is this gang that never appears again. It's just like, yeah, let's throw these people with Joker makeup in there for no stupid reason.
Yeah.
And they're gonna rob this guy from the train. And Batman just comes up from the stairs like just a normal Joe.
Hey guys, just trying to get to my
Yeah, and it
motorcycle.
starts fighting them. You have the upper hand. You could have been on the roof and started grabbing them, like from and cause fear. But no, he just starts fighting them for no stupid reason. And man, he's just a dumb brick. Like that that all the fighting scenes were in the trailers. There was only the last part of the movie was not in the trailers, but basically this movie was in the trailers. If you saw the trailer, you saw Batman.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but that scene in the clubhouse, dude, you're up in a building watching the door. You come down and knock on the door of the club to get in.
Yeah.
Like really, and start fighting everybody there, just for fun.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, this is the stupidest Batman I've ever seen. Like, all those years of training, you didn't know how to open, like, go to the rooftop. He has no self-preservation or anything.
No.
He doesn't care for anybody around him. Um, even even one of the Riddlers, and the funeral scene, the guy with the bomb, he's watching the bomb go 5, 4, and he's screaming at this phone,
Yeah.
and he just blows up, and the cops are around him, and nobody took his mask off. Like he's
Yeah.
just walking in where the cops, and it's just bad. It's a really bad
Yeah.
movie, a really bad Batman concept. Um, Even at the ending, it's just like, "Oh, really? That's your heroic moment?
Yeah.
Electrical cables? That's your big victory over?" Because
Exactly.
you didn't solve anything,
No.
anything. The movie's telling you, "Hey, your dads are bad." With the renewal fund, something, the Wayne renewal fund is the concept,
Yeah.
and he's seeing it everywhere. Even the Riddler is mentioning it. It's like, "Huh, I don't know. My dad did that, but I haven't looked into it." Like, oh my god, this is the worst detective story. He didn't resolve anything. He didn't
Yeah.
catch anybody. He even at the end when he's talking to the Riddler, Riddler's like, "What? You're dumb?" He tells him into the face, "What? You're that dumb?"
Hey, what's up, Golden
So,
Games? What's up, man? Thank you for being here. You caught,
hello, Golden Game. Yeah, we're trashing Batman.
yeah,
But yeah, yeah, it's like when your villain is telling you, no, you got the plot wrong. You didn't. It's not a detective story. Then you
yeah.
just
No, I totally agree with you, man. He just ah, I I just don't understand because they try to by establishing, it's year two. They're thinking that they can get away with a lot of things, but I still think that if it's a year two story, then don't try to make it into a detective thing because in the Halloween Nights of Halloween or something like that, long Halloween, the animated
Mhm.
movie, they have elements like that where he dropped the ball like as a detective like a couple times, but in this movie it's just there's stuff in there there was the scene about la rata, the
Oh
lata,
my God, don't get me
and,
started with that
and I was just
stupid
like,
thing.
the first thing, because I watched it with my dad, I was just like, the first thing that we both said was like, oh, it's a bat. And he's like, it could be a pigeon. I was like, there's no, I was like, no, no, you can't. It's like,
It
maybe,
doesn't even make sense in
maybe it's a,
Spanish. It doesn't make sense in Spanish. They're saying it's Spanish, but I doubt that it's Spanish. It's
yeah.
like,
It was so bad, man. And it's just like this circle, and they were trying to justify things. Like there was this so the relationship between him and Catwoman was just a bit rocky. Like it just went too fast. It went too far too fast. Like there was
yes,
there's no development there. It was just kind of like, like I stalked you home. Now I'm here. Let's make
she's
out.
barely related to the movie at all.
Yeah.
The only title was "That's My Daddy"
Yeah.
syndrome, and I was like, really,
Yeah.
really, that's it.
Yeah.
It's just like she did a good part when she was more interesting when she was doing her stuff than Batman. She was more quiet.
Yeah. She was
She knew how
stealthy.
to, yeah, she was stealthy.
Yeah.
Batman would just had these huge boots with cement and just one boom.
Freaking like everything was chiming every time he walked. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
It's like Batman. I know it's you, bro. Like, come on.
For me is that really angered me is the part where he's just everywhere the cops are, in the
Oh yeah,
investigation.
yeah,
And I'm like, dude, you're breaking your own mythos. They're seeing that you're just a little kid. You're the smallest person in the room. And like you're nobody's scared of you because you're constantly present.
yeah,
Like Batman is like goes after the police, after the police leave the scene, he goes and investigates. And he hacks into their computer and see their investigation. But he's constantly inside the investigation with everybody. I'm like, you're just one regular cop.
yeah,
Just put the badge on.
yeah,
Just like it was like I tell you, it's one of the most dumbest Batman film I've seen. Like, woof. And I don't blame the actor because this is the script's problem. Like,
yeah. So, real quick, Golden Games. The topic is right now. You caught us at like at our main topic, which is the Batman, the movie that came out on it came out in theaters, but it's on HBO Max right now. So we both watched it on Monday, and we're just kind of like giving our insight in the show or the movie because it wasn't all the hype. We think that it was visually good, but there's still elements that are missing. So Naomi says, okay, so I'm loving this. We had high hopes for the Batman, but glad we can prepare.
maybe you like it, Naomi, because I'm
Yeah,
more of a Batman comic reader, so I
yeah.
have a little bit more. I expect more from the character, but
Elena asks, what did y'all think of the Joker movie that came out? So,
I
but
haven't seen that one.
you haven't seen Joker?
No, I had it there when it came out. I had kind of mental health issues. My
S-
anxiety and panic attacks were really going through the roof. So
yeah. So
that movie didn't bring me like any.
yeah,
I
that was
didn't
that
want
was
to
hitting
watch
too
it.
close to home there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I will say that the Joker movie is a phenomenal film. It's far better than this film. They take you through the journey of the Joker, his mental state, his personality, his his situation in life, who he's trying to be, what he's trying to accomplish, and those around him, how society views him. It's really like a Taxi Driver. It's like Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. It's almost like a one-in-one comparison to that movie. How Gotham City is like a character, and it's also a representation of the Joker's mindset and things like that. So things as he spirals down, the city starts to spiral and stuff like that. Things start to get darker and grittier. The town, the city starts to turn into like chaos and stuff. Right before he pulls the trigger and turns into the Joker himself. I think the movie was really well established. It's yeah, it's one of the better DC movies that's come out in years. So yeah, I really like it. What I didn't like though is that there is a scene with the Joker in this Batman movie, and there's a deleted scene too. That the rumor that the movie was going to be 3 hours long was because of this small 5 minute scene that they took out, and it was a good thing that they did because it served no purpose to the story. It was just
Yeah.
the Joker
The
here.
Joker called him dumb too, like, and then he walks into another cell, and the Riddler calls him dumb too. Like, it doesn't serve any purpose.
Yeah, so it's this whole movie just it was pretty hollow. Like the character was really hollow. It was it wasn't really well established. Like even the story itself, the detective parts of it was just all over the
Yeah,
place.
even the plot points of the the government people like are dying is from Dark Knight. Their Christian Bale one, where the Joker starts killing judges, mayors, and
mm,
stuff.
yeah,
So they took that and tried to put it into the serial killer thing. You
yeah,
know, the Joker was creating chaos in Dark Knight, and this one he's trying to make everybody see the lies of everybody. And
yeah.
it's just like I kind of felt like I already watched this. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's like it wasn't that original, but I visually, if you like visuals and stuff, it has a lot of iconic imagery of Batman and stuff like that, but it's like really it doesn't have a soul or anything to tell in
Yeah,
the you know.
yeah, and that's the thing. I I feel like, well, let me ask you this, Primo. Do you think that had they had they taken away like all those moments where Batman is walking into like the locations and stuff like that, could this have been a very successful like Batman movie where he's in stealth mode and he's looking for the criminal himself and he's connecting the dots himself and maybe with a little bit of James Gordon there helping him? Do you think that the movie would have been salvageable? Do you think it would have been the same? Would have had like a
Yeah,
different
there's a
impact or?
couple they could do couple changes. The thing is that the main problem is that it's a Batman movie and the Batman doesn't resolve anything.
Yeah,
You know, he saves one person in the beginning, and then at the end of the movie is that he saves somebody from a live cable, and, that's about it. And then the news is just showing Batman there on the rooftop, so everybody in the world, and he's surrounded by cops, DEA,
yeah,
FBI, and nobody's like, "Hey, you're a criminal too. Like, come on, let's go."
yeah,
Like, nobody is like, so I don't know. It's just. Uh, I think they went visually like, "Oh, yes, let's make this like 7," but didn't have anything interesting like 7.
yeah.
Like, he doesn't even come close to catching the Riddler.
No.
Not even close.
If the Riddler hadn't given himself up, uh,
He never caught him.
yeah, he would have got him. And there was no point for the Riddler to give himself up. I
Yeah.
don't see why because if his point was to see the city flood and he wanted to be in a safe location.
And I don't see the point where the Riddler could see Batman and say, "Oh, he's getting me." It's like, really? At no point have Batman tried to stop anything.
Mm,
Like, he's just reacting to you.
yeah,
He's not He's not solving any he just solves a couple of clues here and there, but he doesn't prevent the next killing.
yeah,
Basically, he doesn't he's in the hit list of the Riddler, and he doesn't get killed because he's not there in the mansion, Alfred, which is he's barely in this movie.
Yeah,
He's like in two scenes.
he served no
Like,
purpose. He did nothing.
yeah, he opens the envelope with the bomb, and I wonder where the dumbness comes from. Maybe it's from Alfred. He just weird contraption here. Keep looking at it for 30 minutes, then waiting for it to explode. I see where Batman gets his wits and his intelligence.
Yeah.
And I bet if Bruce Wayne would have opened that, he would die right there in the movie
Oh yeah,
because
totally.
we're
It's
like
like Fiend.
he didn't run away from that bomb when it was about to go off. He just went, tell me, where is it? And
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah. And I again, like that's one of my biggest problems with this movie is that they're the way the movie's written, it's like I need these things to happen. So what can I do to make that happen? Oh yeah, he takes the bomb to the face, and that's why he's like in the police station now. They carried him all the way there with his mask on because I need this interaction to happen.
And you think that Gordon stopped all those cops from removing his mask? Just
Yeah. So it's really weak, and even that car chasing scene, like Batman just got lit up right by all those bullets. He's on the floor, and Catwoman is just like, oh my god, and then all of a sudden, like when he goes to investigate, Batman's not there, and then he's in the car, and he revs his car like, I want to chase you because I got a new toy, and we need to do a car chasing scene. It's like, bro. Like really? Like you could stop him right there. There's no need to rev your engine.
You know what's worse about the scene? He destroys a bunch of cars, a bunch of damage, property,
Oh yeah,
public damage,
people died.
and the penguin didn't have to do anything with
Yeah, it's
we
all
wasted
Batman.
5 minutes for it's not me. Oh, really? It's not him. Let's go.
Yeah, it's oh man, yeah. It was like the penguin was the one who had to explain to him what la rata meant and stuff like that. It's like it's not me. It's like I'm not the bird that you want. Like man.
And this is stupid because it's not Spanish. It's saying la rata alada. Alada is not a Spanish word. I don't know where they moved their Spanish.
Alada, they're trying to say winged, like ala.
But
Ala, but
yeah, but alada,
sounds like a bad
supposedly,
salad.
yeah, it's not a Spanish word. It's not a word. So I don't know who was their Spanish expert on set. It's like,
I don't know. They just made that up. It's like,
yeah,
you know Spanish?
I'm
No.
over here. I
Good.
know Spanish, and I'm over here. What the hell are they trying to say? Because I know kata, alada is like, it's not a word. It's like,
Yeah.
so this movie is just, I'm scared to give it a grade. I just gave it, I think we need classifications for this movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a stupid movie. I had more, yes, just 100% stupid. It's like, and I had hopes because it was Matt Reeves from the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
And he's done great movies, and it's not better than whatever Zack Snyder was doing with Batman.
Yikes.
I think Zack Snyder's version of Batman was more interesting than this.
Wow.
And his outfit was way better.
Yeah. Yeah, who was Alfred in Zack Snyder's?
Jeremy.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah.
Jeremy Strong?
He normally plays like a villain sometimes.
Yeah.
Like his career is like a villain, like he's a villain.
Yeah, he's a classic actor.
Yeah. I mean, Andy Serkis is a
Jeremy Irons.
okay. I didn't mind him as
no, I thought he was a fabulous cast, but he barely did anything.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to progress the story. The only thing that he did to progress the story was to get to get to the hospital. Yeah, blown up to go to the hospital just so he could tell Batman that it's like, no, your father did do all those things with that guy, but as soon as he found out that that he had killed him, he was gonna go confess. And then after that, your father died. It's like, oh, it was Falcone the whole time. It's like, oh my god.
You know why he's still the stupidest Batman? Because he believes everybody's story.
Oh yeah, he does. He takes everything face value. Face value.
Yeah, he just goes he goes to the back to Falcone. And he's like, I believe you know. Then he goes to a person who was blown up by a bomb
Yeah.
that was meant for him. And he's like, you gotta tell me the story. You're like, what? The guy's almost dead.
Yeah.
He raised you as his child.
Swear to me. It's like Jesus.
Anyway,
Leno says so glad you think that. Yeah, I think Joker was
yeah.
Joker was a great film, and I'm glad you liked it too, because I think it was a fantastic film. It's definitely it's Martin Scorsese. I actually did a video on that. It's like one of my first YouTube videos that I did under Raboom. It's further down, so feel free to scroll through it. I kind of like analyze, yeah. I kind of analyze the movie and everything like that. Is yeah, I'm pretty proud of that film. Hey Gabi, how's it going, dude? Appreciate you dropping in, hanging out. We're talking about Batman.
Come on, you throwing his name on the internet? It was like, gee, come on.
Yeah, well, I've been saying
that's his secret identity.
It's not secret anymore.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, yeah. Yeah, it's straight up like Batman. Like everybody knows exactly who he is walking into the room.
How tall he is. It's like nobody's scared of him. Don't wonder.
Yeah. There was some small moments where there was this cop who gave Batman a bunch of grief. You know, it's like, oh, you can't come in here, sir. It's like a closed set, blah blah blah. You know, like there's a crime scene. You're gonna let this freak in here, blah blah blah. And then that same officer, when he sees Bruce Wayne, he's like, hey, Mr. Wayne, how's it going? And I was like, oh, that's fun. That was cute. And like the contrast between the two worlds, you know, Bruce Wayne is respected, but Batman is
not even respected. They're telling him, hey, you're doing nothing here. Yeah. Like
yeah, Batman
you just don't care for anybody in this movie. No. Like the mayor is in danger at the end, and you're like, huh? Who?
Yeah.
It's like even that kid is like he extending his hand, and I know the meaning behind it. He's seeing himself and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, God, just fast forward through this. You're just slow motioning him with showing a hand. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, and the whole movie was just, I need this to happen. So how do I get there? Okay, I do this. I need this to happen. So how do I get there? I do this. You know, so it was just elements like that throughout the whole entire movie, and to me that's just really weak writing, because they wanted a scene where Catwoman finds the person, but they wanted her to be able to send a signal to Batman. How do I do that? I make sure that they have a moment where they meet up in that tower, and then that way it could justify her just being up there, and she, you know, kidnapped the guy. And there was always like these jump scenes, you know, it's like these jump cuts.
She has more agency because she even gets the corrupt cop.
Yeah.
It freaks him over there.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa. Like, oh, you did this.
Yeah.
Even when he's in the club in the beginning, Joker and Penguin is just selling drugs in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's not doing anything. He's like, what?
Yeah, that was so weird. It's like, he's like, I'm okay with this. It has nothing to do with what I'm trying to investigate. You know, this Riddler guy. And that's all he was good for, was just actually answering all the riddles. That was it. And they claimed that as, oh, that's good detective work. It's like, no, he read a book about riddles and how to solve riddles. That's it. Like,
he could have been a good contestant on a TV show.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all.
Like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You know, riddle edition. You know, you have to answer all these riddles, and he's like, oh, you know.
Him and from The Hobbit, they were be good with Gollum in that scene. They could put Batman right there. This Batman right there in the cave with the Gollum and the Hobbit, and they're trying to solve the riddles.
Yeah. No, it was you made a comment the other day after watching the movie. You were like, you could have put like Brad Pitt in it or something like that. Something. It's like you could put Brad Pitt in this.
This could have been Seven Part 2 without Morgan Freeman and just Jeffrey Wright and Brad Pitt trying to solve crimes. Because you could take out a couple scenes there, like the stupid scene where he just jumps off the building
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't know how to use his flying suit.
Yeah.
And you could have solved. It could have been a good 7 replacement
Yeah. No, I totally
because
agree.
nothing was heroic. Nothing.
Yeah.
Because you can say, "Oh, the electric cable." It's just common sense. Somebody grab that cable and don't let it touch the water. It's not heroic. It's not heroic him falling, like signifying his death, and he's reborn again. You know, you can't cure stupid that fast.
No. No, no, not at all. Um, but
I
yeah.
think we movie enough.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we made our point. The movie just it looked like a bat, if but it didn't fly like a bat. So,
No, it
um,
felt like a Wild Coyote movie trying to get the Roadrunner.
yeah, it just wasn't there. It wasn't all there. It's very unfortunate because this is the type of movie that we've been talking about for years, of Batman, like a noir kind of gritty texture detective story, and we didn't get that. It looked like that,
Yeah, it
um,
looked like it. It
but
wasn't.
it wasn't. Not by a long shot. Now, I will say this, like I'm curious to see if they will continue this universe because I'd like to. I like the
They
universe to see what's next in this universe, but
made money, so they're gonna continue with it.
yeah.
Um, so I think with everything happening with DC, with Warner Brothers and their actors,
Hmm.
we had the Flash going wild in Hawaii.
Oh yeah. He's
And
done.
I think he had, I don't know what's happening. Apparently he has a mental issue, and but nobody's going over there and grabbing him and taking him over to the state. He's just terrorizing Hawaii.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't know. I don't know if Discovery is like, yeah, let's go with this Batman universe and create and just add whatever happens in Flashpoints and whatever universe it creates afterwards. Um, let's see if they connect it to this universe and put Superman in a new Superman in there, and all this stuff.
Yeah. They just they just need a page one rewrite. Just just finish it. Just
Just keep the actors that work, like Wonder Woman. Still want to do a third movie,
yeah.
like
That last Wonder
uh,
Woman was like,
come on. I don't think it was a good movie, but he's a good fit for the part.
what are we talking about?
Um, Aquaman.
Oh, yeah.
And all the other actors that you're hiring for, just whatever Flashpoint is, supposedly is going to create a new universe, like in the comics. So
Mm.
see what happens. Maybe we see a new Superman and this Batman in there,
Mm-hmm.
but I doubt it because Robert Pattinson and the director thinks they did like an Oscar movie
Yeah,
or
they
something
did
like.
God's work. We
Yeah,
yeah,
they
no.
think they did Godfather or something like that. So
Yeah.
no, I don't want to connect it to the popular series. No.
Yeah,
So,
it's yeah. No,
I
but
think he's gonna win a couple Oscars, just the look, technical ones like uh makeup,
I don't
design,
maybe
cinema,
the penguin,
DP, yeah,
you know.
special effects. Maybe
Yeah, I
they're
think
gonna get something, but directing and acting, it's not
yeah.
there. But
No.
technical Oscars,
I think the makeup for the penguin and maybe Colin Farrell.
even the soundtrack. I was like, "Where's the soundtrack on this thing?"
Yeah,
It's
there
like,
wasn't. Yeah, the movie was really hollow. That was the thing. When I started watching it, I just couldn't put my finger on it. It was missing the essence of Batman. That was my biggest thing. I walked out of that movie just like I felt like it didn't impact me at all. It was just images. It was flat. It was just hollow. There was no soul to it. It was just a lot of pretty images, a lot of pretty thoughts brought to life. The You couldn't really see the script behind it. You couldn't see the story development. There's only like small key elements that they think that this is justification for us to do all this stuff, you know. So it just wasn't there. It's just a lot of great thoughts put to paper and then just brought it to the screen. It just wasn't. It's a very hollow Batman. So, it's not a Christopher Nolan well thought out, developing
And I had
compelling
issues
stories.
too, like especially the third one. But
Third one you just don't talk about. It's like Godfather 3. You don't talk about the Godfather 3. It's not. You just leave that one alone. You watch 1 and 2 and you just ignore that 3 even exists. So that's what we do with the Nolan trilogy. Like the third one doesn't exist.
it's like Matrix, one good movie,
Yeah.
and they never made a sequel.
Yeah. Like Reloaded and Revelations doesn't really exist, nor does this new one that they made.
Oh, that was awful.
And that's a terrible movie. That's as dumb as you get. That's just
I got sick just thinking I had to watch that.
oh man. That's talking about abominations.
That was a bad December.
That was an awful movie. That was just God. They're taking advantage of Keanu Reeves. Like, oh, Keanu Reeves is hot again. Let's do The Matrix. Yikes. Anyways, so that will do it for us. Primo, any final thoughts, concerns?
No, I'm just waiting for this week's new Better Call Saul episode, and I think the Ozark starts its last part of the final season. So
Nice.
I need to buy some protein, some fiber and stuff because I'm going on binge mode.
Oh, dang. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what's going to be on my docket. There's a couple new shows coming out. I know Amazon Prime is getting some new shows. I know in May there's a lot of great stuff. The Doctor Strange movie is coming out in May, so I really want to watch that. Really want to watch that in theaters. I want to freaking have my ears explode and Dolby Atmos and HDR and all that stuff, that IMAX experience. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, there's not much. Like I know that there's going to be something coming out, and I'll eventually watch it, and it'll probably pique my interest. But at the moment, I can't think of anything. But let us know in the comments if there's anything that you guys are going to watch, or anything that you guys want to watch and stuff like that, or even any suggestions. The Discord is in the descriptions down below. Feel free to join, and there's a section for what's on our screen podcasts. And you can give us suggestions for shows to watch and things like that, or just if you just want to hang out. What was that, Primo?
Any suggestions for animes,
Yeah.
shows, and anything, even podcasts.
Yeah.
That's a suggestion. Just drop it there.
Yeah. Watch Bridgerton. Okay. Anything but that. So, Naomi's suggestion is revoked.
Yeah.
Poor Naomi. No.
I'll tell her I believe more in Godzilla, that he's real, exists, than whatever romantic show or movie. I was like,
is that on Netflix? Is that the one on Netflix? Because I've been wanting to watch
I don't know.
Dickerson. I don't know if is that the one on Apple TV? Is that even a show? Is it Dixon?
I think she should stop and just try to.
I'll figure out what the show is, but that's this one on Apple TV. Man, the writer Charles Dickens.
I think you have a dick thing right now, so just.
There's a show. It's a legit show, I promise.
It's called "Hey, Welcome Home, Virginia." It's like you're trying to say it.
Now we said the first season is like a soft.
Soft what? I'm not in the chat. Wait.
It's Orn. You use your imagination to put the first letter in there. It's like soft Orn.
Oh, okay.
He's like, oh, okay, that's what that is. Okay. All right, yeah, we.
All right.
But yeah, I'll check out the first 2 episodes. How about that? I'll check that out. Since she recommended it, I'll check out the first 2 episodes, and we'll see where things go. Because I've seen trailers for it, and it's just like, I don't know. But you suggested it, we'll check it out, or at least I'll check it out.
I'm not checking it out.
My friend was more honest than I was. Like,
yeah, Ellie lies a lot.
No, like, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna straight up check it out. I'm
your 2 eyes and like 2 hours of your life just to. Hey, I watched these 2 episodes.
Yeah,
it's like I'm gonna. No, it's You already saw the trailer, apparently, so you already know what it is.
I'm
It's just
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch the first 2 episodes. We'll watch it. Javi, watch Joker. Yes, I agree. I agree with Elena. Watch Joker.
I'm in a better place now. I can watch it.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Shoot, I might watch it again so we could talk about it. If you watch it, let me know. I'll watch it too.
I haven't watched Logan either, so
Logan?
Yeah.
Old man Logan? You haven't watched Logan?
yeah.
Oh, dang, Primo. That's the best Wolverine ever. It took him
I got tired of the Fox universe.
yeah, but it took him so many years just to finally get the essence of Wolverine right. They got the look right in Days of Future Past. He, for the first time ever, he looked like Wolverine. And I loved it.
Oh, Ellie, we're stretching it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So, this is where the chat just came alive. Logan
Yeah.
was good. The Logan was
No, I don't doubt it's good. It's just that I was in that mood not to watch movies. I just want to just watch shows and stuff like that.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now I'm watching movies again. So
Yeah, and it's a phase, like you go through like a lull with
you know what I
movies.
bought, like out of the blue, was Dragon Ball Z. But I jumped into the part when Goku arrives to Planet Namek.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Man, such an epic moment. It's just
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, no, that's
Really, really great moment in the anime.
I remember that from my childhood, man. That was spectacular, man. That just hit me in the goosies. Hit me in the
Yeah.
goosies for sure, man. It was such a great feeling seeing Goku. And then afterwards it's nothing but talking and him just going, ah! And it's like, oh my god, bro, like turn already.
Yeah, they're trying to attack him and they can't hit him and he's just showing off
Yeah.
and stuff. So
He's always done
Just-
it.
yeah.
So he's been
So
a
it was-
showboater.
Yeah.
For a second there, I thought you were gonna say like, oh, what I bought out of a whim was Dragon Ball Evolution, Dragon Ball Z
What?
Evolution. Or
Why would I do that?
I don't
Why
know,
would-
because you made it seem like, oh, I just purchased it out of a whim. I'm like, you were
Would buy that.
sick, you were depressed, you were sad, you were lonely. I don't know, but you decided to buy it, and I was like, that's
If I felt
concerning.
lonely and depressed, I would watch Bridgerton.
Oh man,
Let's
Wait.
cut before we just
poor
say stupid.
Poor Naomi. Poor Naomi. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us. We love doing this. We love being here. This has been another episode of What's on Our Screen podcast. Please feel free to join the Discord, chat with us there. And yeah, until next
Where's
time.
Sunday.
Oh yeah, and this Sunday streaming, chill stream on Sunday. So come hang out, 6 p.m. We're gonna continue
Maybe-
changing.
Sunday, you don't
Something.
play a game and you just watch Bridgerton and you
No.
do a live commentary on it.
No, I would like to do that one time. I would like to do a live commentary on
I'll be-
something.
Just force him in Discord. Just everybody in Discord vote that he watches Bridgerton and he streams his reaction to the show.
Yeah, 54 subscribers. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support, y'all.
Yeah, that's the Bridgerton fandom just coming into the show.
Yes, the Bridgerton fandom. We'll see. I would love to do that. I would love to dissect the show like live or something like that, or
Yeah, that's there.
do something.
Friend when there's like sex scenes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll have to like, I don't know.
Maybe everybody in the community can start watching Bridgerton at the same time as you.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I would be down for something like that, like a whole, like we all watch the same show together and then we just during the podcast or something like that, or during. Anyways, that's a
Yeah.
good idea. Like I like that. I actually like that we can then sit down and discuss. It could be like a book club, but in this case, it would be a
A
show,
trashy show.
a trashy show club. Oh my god! Naomi's down. She's like, "Oh my god, I love it." But I'm
Naomi is like just the pure energy of yes, let's do it. She's like the. Do you remember that Yes movie from Jim Carrey?
Oh yeah. He's like high on life and everything like that.
Yes.
Says yes to everything. Yeah. Elena's on board too.
So yeah, Sunday is gonna be a live reaction of Bridgerton
I don't.
with boom, that's right there, looking ashamed. And he's looking at softcore porn.
Want y'all to know that I'm not wearing pants right now.
Just have your parents come into the room just in case, just to shame you more.
Shame. All right. This is getting completely out of control now. So
It's in the planning scene. You were planning with the community. Yeah, Elena's like, let's do it. Naomi is down for it. Like,
this feels
Yeah.
like a
he's gonna
setup.
kill me after the show. He's like, I hate you.
People set me up over here. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out, tuning in. I love y'all. Thank you, my Dino Boomies, for tuning in. Much love, and we'll catch you guys on the next stream Sunday, 6 p.m. chill stream. God bless you guys. Be safe. Be well. Brush your teeth. Comb your beards. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. Adios.